let's take a look at the ERIC database. To get to the database, go to the library homepage, which is library.gsu.edu. Scroll down to the databases by name section and click the E for ERIC, and scroll down again to find the ERIC database. You'll notice that it's offered on more than one platform. There's ERIC and ProQuest here. There's also a free version of ERIC at eric.ed.gov. I like to use the EBSCO platform just because I like the search strategies that they offer. eric.ed.gov is also very nice, but it doesn't connect as well to our paid resources. So when you're accessing ERIC on EBSCO, do go through the library homepage so that you get that paid access. I'm going to click ERIC to open the database. If you're off campus, it will prompt you for your campus ID and password before the database opens. And then once it opens, it's perfectly all right to do a very simple search here. I do not recommend that you paste in a whole sentence or research question, but you could, and if you did, it will try, and it's not 100% terrible. I mean, it does tell you your initial search query did not yield any results. However, it used smart text searching, and it does find some stuff that looks pretty good, actually. But this can be a very inefficient way to search. There's some other ways to search that are better, and you can still do a simple search or a series of simple searches. So if I wanted to search for differentiated instruction and math, now I like to truncate math with a little asterisk so that it pulls math or mathematics or anything starting with MATH. And this isn't terrible. You get a lot of results though, so you would want to hone this in a little bit more on your topic to bring those number of results down some. But it still looks like it has potential to do a simple search like this, and you could do a series of these. You do need the word "and" in it for best results. But I want to show you some more advanced ways of using the database so that you can see all the options that are available to you. So there's a couple of things I like to try. A lot of times people are struggling to figure out what are the best terms to enter into the search box. And starting with a search like this, when you scroll down, you can look at the subjects area to get some ideas under each search result. And if you find a title that's just exactly what you need, you definitely want to look at the subjects under that. But just kind of scrolling through here, what I'm noticing is that the term differentiated instruction is not in my subjects, but I do see individualized instruction as a search term. So there's a good chance that that's the better term to use. And one way you can check that is to check the thesaurus. Subject-specific databases like ERIC typically have a thesaurus. The thesaurus is not a general thesaurus. This is specific to ERIC and the organization of ERIC. So if I want to go to this little browsing ERIC section and type in differentiated instruction, I'm going to browse it. I used the terms begins with differentiated instruction. And when I look at my results, it tells me for differentiated instruction to use individualized instruction. That's the preferred term. So I clicked it. I can click it again, and oftentimes it gives you a scope note so that you can make sure that the definition that the database is using is what you expect. So in this case, adapting instruction to individual needs within the group is what I want, and I do not want independent study or individual instruction. So this works for me. There's a couple of things you can do. This is a little bit confusing, but you can check this box and add it to your search. You could actually, there's a whole list, right? There's broader terms, like teaching methods is going to be too broad. Related terms, I mean, if you're into physical education, if that's your topic, then maybe you could use that, but I'm interested in math right now, so not that one. Um, so you can check off as many as you want. I'm going to add this one. And it puts this little DE code there. It just means descriptor. And it's doing a really good job of making sure that the content that it pulls is actually related to individualized instruction and not just mentioning this term. It also pulls anything related to individualized instruction, whether it says it that way or not, because we have a lot of different ways of talking about research. And, I thought differentiated was a good term, and it is, but this just is a common language so that you can get the best terms and you know what to enter into the search box. So now I have 15,192 things. You can make it, if you don't like this coding on here, you can take it off. It usually broadens the search a little bit, and it could have put an extra 1,000 worth of irrelevant things in there because it's trying to just pull the most relevant content. But it might be worth looking through if you build out this search. Now, I did notice that it was giving me this option to choose either individualized instruction or differentiated instruction. 17,000. The quotation marks can help. They don't matter as much as they once did, but if you put quotes around a phrase, it will search that exact phrase. If you don't, it does search the phrase still, but it's a little looser about how it does it. So I'm down to 16,779. So what you want to try to do when you're building out these searches is to get all of the terms related to individualized instruction that you need and build out the rest of your search for all the other concepts you want to search. And in the end, have these results be somewhere around 200 is the gist. Now that varies by how much research exists and your topic or your specific research needs, of course. But 200 is a good number to be enough to be representative of the literature, but not too much so that you can't sort through it all. If you're on Google or Google Scholar or something like that and you get like 1 million hits, then it doesn't matter. You just look through the first page or so, try a few different searches. But in a database like ERIC, that's dedicated just to education. It's a very focused database with the ability to really hone in on your topic. So you want to be able to search all of the literature within ERIC. And so let's take a look at how we get this number down to do that. I'm going to click this advanced search, and it's guiding you through a very, very advanced way of searching here. So we've got ands and ors. So you can look at the search modes, and we're defaulted to search in Boolean phrase, which is what I recommend, is just to leave it there. And that means you're using these ands and ors. So on the first line, the only concept I'm going to have on the first line is related to differentiated instruction, and I'm going to put an or between each term. On the second line, I was interested in math and how it might impact student success for math. So I could start typing in math, and I like that little trick with the asterisk. So I'm going to do that, and I think that's probably enough for that line, actually. You could just leave it at math asterisk. But if you wanted to put in algebra or something, you can put in as many ors. You can keep going with this. So you want to leave the and in the left, and on the second line, only terms about math. So you're keeping your concepts separate. The first line is like a parentheses, or each line actually is like a parentheses that's processed together. And I may leave it just at that. There's the success portion of this, but I don't really think I need to add it right now. I could add a string of terms about success, but let's take a look at what we have so far. There are lots of filters that can help you choose the specific type of article that you need. So there's a peer review filter. This means that the article is written by experts and reviewed by experts before being published, has to get past an editor first, and then it goes through the peer review process, and it's almost never accepted the first time. You have to go back and forth with the reviewers if it gets accepted. So this just helps with the quality of the article. And you may want something like I could choose the start year of 2012 if I wanted something in the last 10 years. So just look at your assignment and see what you need to do to meet the requirements. There's another filter that I like a lot under publication type, and it's reports research. I use it a pretty good bit. Reports research will focus your search on empirical articles or original research, and this means that the author who wrote the article is the one who did the research. So they're not talking about someone else's research. They actually did the research and are reporting on it. The author did the research. The author is reporting on the research they did. Education level is a good filter. Sometimes I leave it off just because sometimes it can be pretty limiting. So yeah, let's take a look at this and see what happens. I'm just going to click search, and I got 221. Look at that. That's a good, really good starting place. As provided that it actually pulls the content that you're interested in, then that's a good starting place. So yeah, keep looking at these subjects. When you're scanning, you want to scan through these, looking at the title. There's usually a little bit of an abstract for you. There's also, with just this many, I would be tempted to just look through here. And then if you notice any problems with your search, you can go back and adjust this. Or you could add a term, or you have to be careful with not. But if there's something coming up repeatedly that you don't want, you could say not, whatever that is. There's also this little section here for subjects, which is kind of nice. I'm going to click show more so you can see them all. This is okay. I mean, if you're looking for intervention study, this might be good. And if you want intervention studies, it looks like there's like 35 of them, probably. Is probably what that is. So you could look through those. That seems promising. And there is one, 32 on academic achievement, which was one of mine. Now I can click as many of these as I want. So I'm going to do interventions and academic achievement and just update the search. And now I have 66. So this should be even more focused on what I am interested in. So I just have to make sure it's pulling the kind of article that I want and need. There's also, I will say, the geography filter is pretty terrible. It's just because the authors don't necessarily tell you exactly the location, and so then the location can't really be tagged, and so it just becomes very inconsistent. So I would only use the geography filter if you needed something quick. So like maybe this Georgia is the United States Georgia, and there's 2 of them, and if I know I just need 2 articles, maybe that'll work. But even if you were to click off all the states in the United States, your research is not going to be comprehensive. So if you have to sort through geography, I would just look through them to find what you need. If you decide you don't like any of these, of course you can just click them off and go back to your original search or whatnot. There's a few ways to get to the full text. You can click full text from ERIC, and it will take you into the free version of ERIC. And this means that this PDF is freely available to the world, and anyone with internet can access this. And if we go back to the results list, this linked full text means that the full text for this article is not indexed in ERIC, but it will either link you to it, or it will prompt you to request the article through Interlibrary Loan, which is a free service for you. But it does take 1 to 3 days. So you have to plan ahead if you need the Interlibrary Loan. This one's right here. So that's great. I'm going to go back to my results list. So in number 7, the PDF's right there, which is pretty great. You can save these. There's lots of options. When you click on a title, you can save it to Google Drive or OneDrive. You can email it to yourself. There is a cite feature, which is handy. If you scroll down through here, you'll see the APA 7th edition is an option. And this stylistically, this is incorrect. I can already tell you the capitalization for the title of the article is incorrect because it's in title case. It should be in sentence case. So you can copy and paste this as a starting point, but you do need to check it against a style guide. You can add these to a folder. So right now I'm signed into my EBSCO. If you want to save anything, you need to sign in, and there should be, since I'm signed in, you don't see the option, but there should be in the upper right an option for you to sign in somewhere near where this folder or this area is over here. Somewhere up there you should see a sign in. And when you're signed in, you can save things to, you can make folders and save things to folders if you want to do that. Let me see, let me go back to my results list. So you see the folders here. I can click one, and I've made a bunch of folders already, so I'll just select stuff to put it in my stuff folder. Oops, stuff. I'll put like maybe 3 of them in there. And then if I click in my folder, come on, it's being slow. This is my general folder, but I have my stuff folder that we just added 3 articles to. So here's my articles in that folder. Trying to think of what else you'll need. So this is 221. I wouldn't really add anything about student success to this, but if you wanted to, you could add something. It's because I'm at 221 right now, and anything I add, it's going to be less than 221. So and narrows your search, and or broadens your search. I'll do student success. I could just do success, maybe. This looks pretty good here. Academic achievement, academic performance. I'm just going to go with that one. So it should be less than 221 when I click, as long as it keeps all my filters. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I got 47 now. So depending on how big of a hurry you're in or how much you need to focus on student success, that's a very good way to do it. I should explain maybe this very complex search that we've built out pretty quickly a little bit more. So this is like doing a ton of searches all at once in one big search. So it's the equivalent of doing a search for individualized instruction and math and student success. And then that would be one search. And then your next search could be um, individualized instruction and algebra and student success. And then your next search could be differentiated instruction and math and student success. So it's a bunch of searches. It just keeps going for a while. And if you want to see kind of how that would look written out, if you click on search history, then that's kind of coding for how it would be written out. And if you like this S10 search, you think this is fantastic, you can save the search. So if I click Save Searches, I can name it The Bomb because it was awesome, or Awesome Search, or whatever you want to name it. Maybe you want to name it something that will describe it better for yourself. And then I would save it permanently. They stay in here forever. So that's an option to save permanently. There's another option you can do, which is alerts. So if you like getting emails, you can do an alert. And I would not do once a day. I do not recommend that. But, once a week, bi-weekly, once a month, depending on your project, once a week might work. And the good thing about this is it limits it to the new article. So it doesn't rerun the search. It gives you the new stuff. So that's kind of nice. If you want to, I don't want to save that. I don't want to put in my email. So, but that's an option if you like to have searches sent to you. I think that's most of what you need to know about the ERIC database. If you need any help with your searches, please let me know. We can email back and forth, or we can meet online or meet face to face. Just let me know what you need. I'm happy to help.